Yo, what's going on guys, it's Creamslice. So today we are going all in and we have cooked up a super hybrid build that lets two powerful elements collide. And with this warlock build we have the best of both worlds. I'm really happy the way this build turned out and I hope you guys like it. We are taking the stasis subclass and adding some pure heat. Literally all I'll say is fire meets ice in this potent warlock build. Let's get it. First things first, grab Stasis's most notorious trace rifle, the Agers scepter. This trace rifle is one of the best in the game when it comes to freezing and shattering enemies. Its power to purely decimate enemies into pieces makes it the perfect exotic to kick off this build. Getting the calus will allow you to power up your weapon, loading it with 200 in the chamber and giving you a massive 80% damage buff that staggers and then shatters enemies. With this, Agers doesn't give a fuck about champion mods. So looking at some of the stasis fragments, we're going to be taking Agers to the top fully. So we're going to beef it up with Whisper of Rending. Agers does increase damage to frozen targets, and that with Whisper of Fissures, this increases the damage and the size of the stasis crystals when we shatter a frozen target. And to give us our life support, throw on Whisperer Chains. This will give us an increase in damage resistance. I think it's about 40%, and we are near friendly stasis crystals or frozen targets, which we're pretty much going to be freezing everything in our path, so we will constantly have a resist up. Absolutely mandatory though, if you are running a stasis warlock build, you throw on the osmiomancy gloves. So these will absolutely make endgame a piece of piss. Keep spamming your grenades, throwing them at barrier champions. They never get to throw up their shield. And also, this is a way how we are going to be creating our stasis shards. So when you throw a grenade directly at your enemies, it just creates stasis shards out of thin air that track to your destination, which I think is just absolutely OP in any situation. So the perk is cold snap grenades have an additional charge that recharges quicker on direct impacts, like I say. So this plays into this elemental build perfectly. Going to be pairing it with a stasis aspect. Glacial Harvest. Freezing enemies create stasis shards that restore our melee energy. The bigger the target, the more energy that you get back. The perfect way to get the most out of Glacial Harvest is definitely Whisperer Conductions. So your stasis shards that we make, they track to our destination. With us creating stasis shards, you want to throw on Elemental Charge and Elemental Shards. So what this essentially will do is when we are creating stasis shards with our cold snap grenades, they will count as elemental wells through elemental shards, and we will be charged with light by 2 stacks with elemental charge, and we will be using those charges of light with high energy fire to keep giving us that 20% damage buff to our weapons. But not only that, this is where this build turns up the heat and we start adding some fucking flame, guys. Start to throw on Harmonic Siphon, so when you are using your Agers scepter, you are creating orbs of power, and just when you thought that this build could not get better, you know who I am, right? Yeah, that's right, I'm Creamslice. Throw on the artifact mod, Radiant Orbs. So every time you pick up an orb of power, you now become radiant. So we are not on the solar subclass, guys, but we are making solar shit happen on the stasis subclass over here. So not only have we got high energy fire easily with our stasis shards, we now have the radiant buff with an extra 25% damage buff stacking with high energy fire. So that is a 45% damage increase with just using the Agers scepter alone. Then when you go into the will given form, the Agers special beam, which is an 80% damage increase, you're hitting over 100% of your agers scepter. And we've not even finished the build yet, guys. Come on. Always there will be a dim link below, but if you want me to throw some fucking fire on this build right now, give me a hell yeah, and throw your pinky finger on that like button and subscribe to the channel, because we are doing it all right now. We are making the builds happen over at this channel. No messing about. You already know what it is. Throw on an incandescent weapon from Season of the Haunted, and this is how we really throw on the heat with this build. So all of our targets are getting frozen everywhere. We're igniting them with incandescent, adding scorching while they're freezing, just everything, like, it's going off. There's 3 weapons that you can currently get right now, and this will definitely be end game viable, guys. So we have the staccato 46, which deals with your unstoppable champions. But you don't want to do scout rifle, you can blow heads off without remorse. Shotgun that also has incandescent. Or if you want to deal with your overload champions, not that you need to because we've got agers scepter, you can use calus mini tool, which is still a solid choice for this build. And now this is where we take it even further, guys. Cherry on top, solar fulmination. So your ignitions do increase damage in an increased radius. So you can just imagine, guys, we're freezing enemies, hitting them with the incandescent, they're igniting. It's just igniting everything. Stasis crystals everywhere, orbs of power everywhere, constantly getting your abilities back. You're constantly healing because you have your resist near frozen targets. You are doing it all. We are doing it all. Like I said, we are doing it all over at this channel. We are bringing you the sickest builds right now. So do me a favor again and like that like button. You get what I'm saying? So I will say, try and get your resilience and your discipline high. I think that's pretty standard with any builds right now. But yeah, that's going to be the build, guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you for the support, guys. It really means a lot. Yeah, let's just keep pushing, man. I'm creamslice. Peace.